Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial. This is about marking your laps on Garmin and manually lapping your activity versus auto lapping your activity. So let's just start out with the definitions. Auto lapping is your Garmin, when the lap feature is on, it automatically laps the distance that your Garmin has set for that lap. Its default is 1 mile or 1.61 kilometers, and you could change that. The manual lap is when you press the lower right hand button. Excuse my nails. You're manually lapping that distance. So for example, if you lap every 0.5 miles manually, you're going to see in your Garmin Connect account after the activity is done, every 0.5 miles you lapped. And it's manual, so you're getting the actual distance, especially if you are not going based off the GPS and you're just going based off of the 0.5 distance every time. And you could also see your time for each half mile segment when you do that. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to show you how to see the distance on auto lap and how to turn it off and why that's beneficial. So here we're in run settings. We're clicking on the upper left hand side of the watch, going up to options. I'm in run settings. I'm clicking the upper right hand button here, going down here to auto lap. So here I have it off. It's manual only. So that means during my activity, when I start a run, I start the run up top, and then I have to click on the lower right hand button to lap every mile, let's say manually, or every half mile. In order to turn this on, I just press into that upper right hand button, press that again, it's on, great. Now, if I want to change the distance, the auto distance is preset, like I said, to 1 mile. I have it in miles, not kilometers. But if I want to change that, let's say at every 2 miles, I press the upper left hand button like you just saw me do, press the top right hand button, check, check, boom, and there we go. But I'm just going to change it back to 1 mile. Because that's what I like it as. For the lap alerts here, that's, your lap buzzing on your hand. We like that, we don't like that. And yeah, so now let me just see one other thing. Yes, so this is set to miles. This is not going over 1 mile as I've shown. So this here, so basically when I start an activity, I'm clicking the lower right hand button to get out of the screen. So when I start an activity, let's say run, right? Start the run, wait for the GPS to load, because my GPS is on, we're starting the run. Once the distance gets to the mile, based on the GPS and based on, my distance, it'll buzz and say 1 mile. It'll show my pace per that mile split since the auto lap feature is enabled. If I were to turn off that auto lap feature, it's not going to buzz. It's not going to automatically calculate every mile I run. But once I see the mile distance has been run, it's up to me to press that lower right hand button to manually lap that mile, see my split and my pace for that mile, and to do that every mile on out. Now, in a race, this is beneficial because when the GPS data, kind of messes us all up and, you kind of see your pace per mile going all wonky, that could kind of drive us nuts. And so if the total distance for any mile within a half marathon, let's say, or a marathon is off, and your mile marker, the mile goes buzz and it's actually like, let's say 0.95 of a mile, that could throw off your pacing, that could throw off your strategy. We don't want that. Also, if you keep the auto lap feature on, you try to manually lap it by pressing on the lower right hand button, this could happen. This has happened to several of my athletes. The auto lap feature will still buzz every mile, And that'll interfere with you manually lapping it and seeing your mile splits for the race. So for simplicity's sake, turn off the auto lap feature if you are planning to manually lap your miles, especially in a race, while you are passing those mile markers. If you happen to miss a mile marker, my recommendation is to just wait until the next one. So let's say you press it at mile 1, you miss 2, then you press it again at mile 3. That's easier to calculate that 2-mile split versus, just, missing that second mile and pressing it at like 2.15, because that's going to throw off your pace and, your knowledge of what you're doing for each mile in that race. One less thing you have to worry about. So I hope this was helpful, using the manual lap feature and the auto lap feature and the benefits for each, what they're used for, how to turn it on. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. And of course, I'm just going to discard this activity by pressing the top right hand button, then the lower left hand button by going down, discarding this, and yes. So thank you for watching. Until next time.